just turn off my little earphones so we can have a focus. I am actually going to start a poll as the first thing I do. I am here and we are back, we are live. It is a Sunday and today we are talking about a topic that has been on my mind for the last couple of days. When I go live on YouTube, oftentimes I have topics in mind, but a lot of these topics are based upon the comments. And one of these questions that I've been thinking about is about, does the world need saving? That's the question. Does the world need to be saved? I am asking you a genuine question. Do you think we need to save this world? Today, I am going to talk about oceans and Mother Nature. Oftentimes, I wonder, why do we call Mother Nature Mother Nature? I guess we use the analogy of a mother because the earth gives, a mother gives, and from earth, we all came from earth. So that's why it's called Mother Nature, because the beginning of you began on earth. So we call it Mother Nature. But does the world need saving? Do we need to save? Does recycling matter? Today we are talking about nature and oceans. This was a comment requested by one of my commenters about 4 days ago, and I said I'm going to talk about it, so here you go. So this should let you guys know that leaving your comments is important. A lot of the topics I talk about are not my idea, they are your idea. So today's question is, do we need to save the world? Do we need to care about the environment? Do we need to really recycle? Does recycling actually work? Should we save the world? Does the world need saving? That is today's conversation. I will I will say this. I will say that the industrial revolution has been one of the biggest impacts on this world that we as human beings have done. In the last, let's say, 200 years, we have done more environmental impact on this planet than any human beings have done in the last 1,000 years. I have a comment saying, "Hi" by Shubhan Ali. Welcome to my channel. We are affecting the earth. We are doing damage to the earth. Now, the question is, do we need to stop? And does this world need to be saved? Do we need to save the world from us? Human beings are apex predators on this earth. We are at the top of the food chain, above any other creature. We are, because we eat everything. We are omnivores. We eat everything, right? So we are at the top of the food chain, and we have terraformed the earth. We have made it very appealable to humanity, which means that we have destroyed ecosystems, we have destroyed natural wildlife, we have made a big impact on this planet. But the question is, how big is that impact really? Have we done so much damage to this earth that we need to make a change? I have Eggy D6D saying, say hi. I'm saying hi. Have we made the impact on this earth that is so big that we have to protect the earth from humanity? I've had 5 votes saying yes, we need to save the earth. I have Jamie Goodwin, 17K saying hi. I have Mary KKK K8C saying hey man. I have Jamie Goodwin saying yes, what's up? So we are talking about the earth. Do we need to save the earth? Um, I want you to. Oh, Eggy saying hi. Thank you. I want you guys to comment down below and let me know if we need to save the earth. Let me know. Do we need to save the earth? And what can we do to save the earth? Comment down below. Where are you from? I am from the United Kingdom over in England. That's where I'm from. Please comment down below. Do we need to save the earth? And what do we need to do to save the earth? Oh, okay. I now have one no. Interesting. Okay. I'm from Iran. Well, welcome from Iran. Just subscribe. Thank you. By the way, I am trying to get to 70 subscribers today. So please subscribe because I'm currently on you know what? Let's not do 70, let's do 80. I am trying to get to 80 subscribers today. I'm currently on 69. So if we can hit 80 subscribers, guys, that would be amazing. I have Eggy Sena subscribed. There's 12 of you right now watching, so please subscribe. There we go. We need to save the animals. I understand. If we look back at some of the animals that we have killed into extinction, there's quite a lot. The dodo, we killed that animal because of food. We, as a human race, decided to hunt that animal down based upon the meat it had. So that's a great one. I got Mary KKK saying, I liked and subscribed. Thank you. You are supporting my channel and the trees. So we need to save the trees. I understand. In terms of the trees, is it the carbon effect we're having on the earth? Is it that we are releasing too much CO2, so we need to either plant more trees or save the trees we currently have so that the trees can absorb the CO2 in the atmosphere? Comment down below. There's 10 votes right now. 90% of you are saying yes, and 10% are saying no. Oxygen. Okay, so the trees give us oxygen, so we need to save the trees. Perfect, understand that. Come on, guys, comment down below. If we do need to save the earth, what can we do as humans? Do we have a responsibility to save this earth? Does it need saving? So Jamie is saying we need to save the trees, right? And then Jamie again saying we need to save animals. I agree. I am going to talk to you now about both ends of it. Stop building. Okay, fine. I'll stop build. Okay, stop building. I get what you mean in terms of like the effect we are having on the industrialization of the world in terms of building. That does have an effect on the world. Yes. Just shared. Thank you, Eggy. Really appreciate. And by the way, I love that channel name, Eggy. Thank you for that. So, does the world need saving? I'm going to give you both answers. I'm going to give you a yes and a no. And I want you guys to challenge me on both parts. I'm going to say, for now, yes, the earth needs saving. Humankind has impacted the world in a way that we can't change it back. We have affected the amount of CO2 that's in the air based upon the amount of plastic we create, the amount of oil we extract out of the ground, that is crude oil, then we turn that into petroleum, into gasoline, into plastic. So we are affecting the earth because based upon the amount of oil we produce, we extract, the amount of carbon we release through CO2, and the amount of industrialization that we have done as a human race, we need to take this seriously and say, you know what, we are affecting the earth. The issue that human beings have is we don't know how to understand big numbers, right? We think that if I just don't recycle, will that really have an impact? if I don't if I don't take this seriously, does it matter? I'm only one person. What happens when 8 billion people all are making a negative effect on this planet? That quickly adds up, right? It quickly adds up. So, should we save the world? One answer is yes, we have to save the world because we have just, for example, in the last 200 years, done so much change to this earth. We have terraformed it. We have made concrete jungles. We have produced so much CO2 by releasing a lot of gasoline and petroleum through crude oil into the earth. Right? Cool. That is one argument for it. The other argument is the earth does not need to be saved. The question that I have for you is, can you make a difference? Can you, as an individual, make a difference to the amount of plastic in the water, to the amount of trash in the world, to the amount of carbon that gets released? Can you, as an individual, affect that? The answer is probably not. You, as an individual, probably by you choosing to recycle more or recycle less, you probably won't see a big dent in changing the world. And what do we mean by saving the world? If we look back, the earth has changed dramatically, right? Because currently, the amount of change in terms of sea level, in terms of the temperatures increasing, yes, we can see a measurable change year on year, but the truth is that if we look based upon science and if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, again, I'm just giving an alternative view of that the Earth does not need saving, is that if we go back to the dinosaur age, if you believe in that, I don't, but I'm just giving you like another viewpoint the amount of temperature change this Earth has gone through has been drastic and vast. So a 2-degree a year increase in global temperatures won't really make a difference. You not recycling won't really make a difference. You not doing your small little part won't really make a big difference because the big difference is done by corporations, right? So that can be another argument. I'm not saying what is right and what is wrong. What I am saying is that does the world actually need saving? Or is the world just the way it is and we don't need to change it? I was looking at what we do with our trash. Do you know that a large majority of our trash is buried? We bury it. It doesn't just go anywhere. You know, I used to think when you throw rubbish in the bin, it gets sent away and somehow it disappears. Somehow it's maybe burnt so that it's all just becomes dust and then it floats in the sky and disappears. Not really. The majority of what you throw away probably still exists today. The little plastic wrapper you threw away 7 years ago probably still exists, right? But can you as an individual actually make a difference on this earth? Yes. Yes, you can. Because one individual might not feel a global impact. But if everybody thinks the same way and we all think about what we can do to take care of this earth, then we will find a way to make a difference. For example, one of the biggest issues that we had coming up to the 2000s is the rising population. We had a fear of a population explosion, right? What happened was after we had World War One and World War Two, we had a new generation of people called the baby boomers. Everybody came back from war and they had a lot of children. So there was an explosion in population. We went from around 3 to 4 billion in the early 20th century, which is 1900s, up into the 8 billions in which is this year, right? So the population in the world literally doubled in the last 100 years, right? Whereas if we go back before then, it took so long for the population to get to 4 billion, took thousands of years. But from 4 to 8, it took less than 100 years. The planet, the population doubled. And especially if we go back about 20 years ago. Yes, I'm going to show my age because I look young like a baby, but I'm not, as you can clearly tell, right? So, the population exploded from the early 50s to the mid 2000s, right? And the biggest concern we had was we need to find a way to manage population. We are having too many children, right? Then what happened? The incentives to have children kind of died down. The cost of living skyrocketed, and people were not able to sustain families on one income, right? So now the two income household was created, which meant that people were less incentivized to have kids because the cost per kid was expensive. I think now I saw that it costs over £200,000 to raise a kid from birth until 18. Those numbers are pretty accurate. So we had a population explosion and the world needed saving. So what we did was we put mechanisms in place to stop the population from increasing. In different countries, there was laws saying you can only have one kid. Some places, there were the incentive to have less kids was the fact that you were able to still financially survive. But then what happened? People stopped having kids. So now we had another issue. The issue was an aging population. There's more older people than young people. What that means is that when these older people need help and support, the younger people will not be able to take care of them because there are not enough young people. And let's just say all the older people pass away, because they will. Would there be enough people left behind to continue the earth in terms of sustaining the infrastructure, the laws, and the way the world is? That is a question. We currently have a population problem. Every country in the West is trying to encourage people to have children. They are throwing billions of dollars and pounds at parents to say, hey, have more kids, please have more kids. Because currently, the problem is this: when two people have a child, they normally are not having more than 1.5 children. I know you're saying, how can you have 1.5 children? It's some have three, some have one. A lot of people are not having more than one kid. They have one kid, they're done, because raising one kid is super expensive. So we're having a, a, an aging population problem. So do we need to make a change? Does the world need saving? Yes, it does. But the question is, right, did the earth survive okay when we had 4 billion people? Yes, it was fine. Were we okay when the world had 1 billion people? Yes, we were. So we are really trying. So the reason why we want to increase the population is for one main reason. I'm going to give you the socio-economical reason to why we need to increase the population in the West. One word. Well, two words: pension and healthcare. We don't understand how pensions work. For example, in the West, the reason why we need kids is because we want them to work. So if the population is getting older and they have all paid into their state pension, and now they're older and the state has to pay them, where does that money come from? The money comes from the working class. The people that are working who pay into that pension, the pension companies take that money and now give it to the people who are at the age of pension. So your pension that you pay into right now is not your money. That money is paying off somebody else's bills. But you paying into a pension is you paying into a promise that if you make it to the age of 70, if you're a man, or 65 as a woman, the government will take care of you. You're paying into a promise. Now, if we have a generation of people not having kids, it means there is not enough money in the economy because there's not enough jobs out there to make people pay taxes. So if there's not enough people working, and those people are not able to pay into their pensions, it means there won't be enough money to take care of the people who are currently owed, who need a pension. We need more people because we need their money. That is why the West needs more children. Also, it's to sustain this world. There's an element of where we have built the world where we can't have less people than we have right now. Do you ever ask the question to why we need more human beings? Why there's always a push of where there's countries that are literally saying, move to our country, we'll give you citizenship. And if you have a kid that is born in our country, we'll actually pay you money. Does the world need saving? Do you think that we have gone too far? Do you think that humankind has the ability to change the world, to affect the world? Well, you know what? We have shown that we have the ability to affect the world and change the world. We've had a lot of wars. We said there's been two world wars. That's a lie. There's been more than two world wars. There are two world wars in the West. If we look at the West in the world, there have been more wars that we as human beings have dramatically affected and changed the world. But if we look at the environment, we actually can't do much to affect the world dramatically within a short space of time. Everything that we have done in terms of global effect, in terms of changing the world, has been measured over a long period of time. The big events that we can say the world has now changed are the big events that happen in small pockets that affect political and socio-economical change around the world. For example, if we look at Hiroshima, Nagasaki, if we look at is it the Fat Man? Um, is a little boy. These are all nuclear bombs that were exploded. The world changed. We as humanity created a new way to destroy. So the world changed. So now what we do as human beings is that we think we need to change the world. And forget change, we need to save the world. That saving the world is as important as living in the world. And one thing that I think we probably all need to do is ask yourself this question: how does the world need to be saved? What can you do to save the world? Yes, there's been things like world wars that have changed the world, things like the internet, like television, like the radio, like satellite. There's been so much things like the creation of penicillin, antibiotics, sorry. We have affected change on a global level. So comment down below. How can we save the world? What can you do today to save the world just a little bit? Again, this topic is not one that I chose to talk about. This is a topic that was given to me. I am a Christian. So as a Christian, I look back at what was given to Adam in the Garden of Eden. Adam was told, hey mate, here's a garden. Please take care of it. This was a garden. It wasn't the whole planet. It was like, hey, I've made you. This is your garden. Take care of it. Bish, bash, bosh. You're in charge. Right? Cool. So human beings from the point of creation were given a task to take care of the earth. Were given a job to say, hey, this is yours. Take care of it. Make sure it's nice and pretty. Make sure that everything is working well. This is what you have, and this is all you have right now. So human beings, in a Christian sense, have a duty to take care of the world. We can change the world. And change doesn't have to be in the big macro, but in the micro, in the small things. We can do small things to change the world. You can do small acts of kindness that will help save the world. And that's the thing, like, what is the world? I have traveled to many countries, and oftentimes I tell my friends this to say, hey, listen to me. We, whenever we travel, what we are doing is that we are traveling to different worlds. Even though it's the same planet, it's if I travel to Asia, for me it's a different world because it's an entirely different way of living. Anywhere I travel that has a different way of living is a different world to me. Even though yes, we're still on Earth, even if you move cities, you will see that that city lives in a different experience. I when I went to Africa, and I was spending a few weeks there, one thing I saw was that the way people moved was different. Because when the sun set, everybody was calm, relaxed, and chill. The pace of life was so different. Every country you go to is a mini world, it's a different little world, which means that you don't have to save the planet. What you can do is you can make small impacts where you are, right? Every little place you are. Oh, I have Millie XXX saying, say hi. I'm saying hi to you. We are talking about does the world need saving? As I'm saying, there's different worlds because when I say worlds, I mean countries. I've traveled even within countries. There's, for example, in America, there's different states. Each state is so different. Some states are laid back. Some states are like, go, go, go. We need to stay up all night, like New York, right? Like LA. You go to Texas, it's a little bit different. You go to South Carolina, it's a little bit slower. So it's like there's different worlds. And the thing is, right, that means that we have a responsibility wherever you live. And by the way, I am trying to hit 80 subscribers today. Please subscribe. I am currently on 70. Every subscriber matters. So please subscribe. Okay, so we currently have 24 votes now. And 82% of people are saying no, we don't need to save the earth. And no, sorry, my apologies. 83% of people are saying yes, we need to save the earth. And 17% of people are saying no, we don't need to save the earth. You can't save Mother Nature. You can't save the entire planet. You don't, if you are watching this, it means you probably don't have the power to save the planet because no person does. This is not an individual responsibility. It is a collective responsibility. It means that wherever you are located, the small little thing you do has a big impact. The butterfly effect. One thing that we, again, I said it before earlier, one thing that we are really bad at as human beings, I'm going to say this, one thing that you are really bad at, yes, you who are watching this video, right? I'm talking to you, yes, you. One thing that you are bad at is grasping big numbers. If we say there's been 30 trillion liters of trash thrown away in the last week, what does that look like to you? What is 30 trillion liters? Can you grasp that? No, you can't. But if we look in terms of our little worlds, our little towns, our little cities, our little homes, and we say, okay, instead of 30 trillion, let's look at like maybe a thousand liters. Forget that. Look in your own home and say, okay, in my own home, I am actively now separating plastics from cardboards from glass, and I am taking stuff to the recycling center. I'm gonna say something controversial, and you might not like it, but I'm gonna say it. Oftentimes, a lot of the things that you take to be recycled won't be recycled. What does that mean? It means that the majority of recycling is psychological, right? The majority of recycling is psychological. Why? Because it's a start. It's about looking about what you can do to give back. One thing that humans are really bad at is giving back. We are great at taking. We would take everything. When you're born, we take from our parents. As we get older, we take from our bosses. As we get even older and we make money and we start dating, we take from our partners. As we get even older, we find, you know what, this partner is boring. I'm gonna get a new partner. So we take a new partner. We take this. We take money. We take. That's all you do. What about giving back? And recycling can be a small psychological step. Even though after you've thrown it in the recycling center, you don't know what's going to happen, you have done your part. And if we do our small part, we'll succeed. I'm going to give you one example that talks about this nicely. I moved to a new city a couple years ago, and this was more of like a smaller city where everybody knew each other, right? And on Sundays, I saw something that shook me. I saw mothers and fathers and kids walking down the streets picking up litter with bin bags. I saw people picking up fly tipped stuff to move away, to be recycled or thrown away. I saw a community of people who are saying, you know what, we live here and we will not have trash around, or we live here and we want to make this place a beautiful place to live and experience, and we want to raise our children to also care about where they live, the small things you do. Again, please subscribe. I'm trying to hit 80 subscribers. My goal is to hit 100 followers by Christmas. That's my goal. So every subscriber counts and matters. If we can hit 100 followers by Christmas, guys, oh, you don't know what will happen. There's so much I'm able to do. The more you subscribe, the more YouTube is able to push me to say, hey, this guy actually might be worth showing to other people. So, yes, I saw people picking up litters in their expensive boots, in their Mercedes. They are parking up luxury cars, going on their hands and knees, picking up trash. Nobody is asking them to, because this was a community who would say, we are not going to accept living in a place where we don't take care of our environment. Again, it's psychological. Yes, they are literally throwing trash away, but they are setting an example to say, hey, we need to take care of where we live. I have seen this. I have gone to places where people really care about their environment. They take care of their environment. It's a social element where everybody sometimes feels the pressure to make a difference, to either donate, to either clean up, to either recycle. To be fair, a lot of councils now are forcing recycling. So you can make a change, but you have to change how you think. If you think, well, me doing a little bit and picking up rubbish on a Sunday won't make a difference, then you are not thinking big. You're not thinking the way that you are, that will allow you to make a difference. Human beings are really bad at thinking big, like global big, like trillions of liters of trash. If we think more like, okay, in my street, 5 minutes from me, can we as a community just maybe do a 10-minute walk and whatever you see you pick up, even though you didn't throw it? Because then that sends a message to the community to be like, hey, in this community, don't throw trash around. Why? Because we go and pick it. And because it's the people in the community who are picking the trash, the community will then have that mindset to be like, hey, since we're doing this annoying thing for the sake of making this a nice place to live, maybe instead of throwing that wrapper when driving, let me take it home with me, right? Japan is really good at this. So yes, I am not saying that you have to become like a person who is like really into nature and you know, dividing plastics from cardboard, from glass, from food, from, you know, this and that. What I'm saying is like a lot of what do like change in the world is it's a mindset. It starts small. Sunny, it starts small. Millie XXX, yes, it does start small. Eggy D 60, yes, you can make a difference. Jamie, if you're still watching, yes, you know what? We need to be looking at the trees in terms of maybe we shouldn't be cutting down so many trees. Maybe we can cut down less trees and use other renewable resources, right? Mary KKK dash K8C, right? Thank you for subscribing again. And you know what? We do need to save the animals. One thing that I have been seeing is the meat industry has been causing a lot of problems in terms of CO2 emissions and in terms of also we have domesticated a lot of animals. Is that a bad thing or a good thing? That's up to you guys to comment. A lot of you guys again watch my live streams afterwards. So if you are watching this after I have gone live, please comment saying um, I've watched this afterwards, right? Then I'll know you've watched it afterwards. But please subscribe. This video already has 7 likes. We have had a lot of people coming in. So currently we have 26 votes, and 81% say yes, the world needs saving, and 19% say no, the world does not need saving. So, you know what, guys? I am going to end this here. So, thanks for coming back. This is my 7th day, I think, of going live. I've really been pushing to go live on YouTube. And you know what? It's because of you guys. I come back because I get messages saying, "Are you live yet? Are you live yet?" Yesterday I had Max who was saying I stayed up late because I think he's in Poland, and he's like, "I stayed up late just for you," right? So you guys are the reason why I go live. But guys, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and remember, does the world need saving? If you can't save the whole planet, look at your neighborhood and say, what can I do? Go pick up some trash. Maybe recycle a little. Maybe go say hi to a neighbor. You can save the world, but if you change what you view the world as, if you view the world as like your local community, then you can make a big impact. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Peace.